care what you did. I'm sorry about what I did. Just please come home. Please. Just please.
This is Joseph Paul DeWise, and his deteriorating relationship with his wife, Lauren, is slowly ruining his life.
I'm driving and I'm crying. I don't want to go without you. I'm sorry. I will do better. I promise.
My
Over
mic
the
always
years,
fucking up.
Lauren had lost her feelings for Paul, but Paul's love for her had only grown
Uh,
stronger. And to cope with slowly losing the love of his life,
Alcohol.
Paul turned to drinking,
I knew it.
sending his mental state into a downward spiral. His love for Lauren would turn into hatred.
And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, I'm just an innocent victim now.
Just leave me
Why don't you
alone.
attack me in front of the camera?
Just leave
Why don't you
me
talk to me
alone.
like you did a minute ago?
And that's what this is about. And I'm angry. And it's hard for me to live with.
Paul could only bear the pain for so long.
Oh yeah, bro,
His
crash
complex
out.
emotions turned into obsession, leading him to stalk Lauren, where he soon discovered she was going on dates with other men. Eventually, enough was enough.
Good night, Lauren. I hope you sleep well.
On the night of January 7th, 2018, Lauren DeWise would be found dead in her bedroom. It was confirmed that Paul was responsible.
I live at 1308. It's the next door neighbor. She just came over in hysterics and says somebody shot her roommate.
What makes this case specifically so interesting is that Paul recorded his entire mental downfall, from the start of his issues with Lauren all the way to the tragic
Yeah,
end.
bro, was a crash
For the
out for
past
sure.
6 months, I've worked with a handful of police stations, district attorneys, and news networks to gather the entire recorded life of Joseph Paul DeWise. This is his full story.
Oh, they're going back
This
a
was
half a
letter
year.
to Lauren, written by Paul on July 24th, 2017. It indicates the first real sign of Paul and Lauren's relationship problems, but also Paul.
What did I just do? I have no excuse for what happened last night. I'm a very bad person for you right now. I had no right to do what I did. It was no one's fault but mine. I hate myself. I was wrong in every way possible. I deserve you. Oh, that's what he wrote to her.
Paul's dark tendency of self-hatred.
I have no excuse for what happened last night. I am a very bad person for you right now. I hate myself. I do not deserve you. I have no reason to be loved by you or the kids. I ruined everything. You deserve someone way better than me.
How you gonna say this in the
Paul wrote
offer?
this letter just hours
You
after
do
a
be
heated
crazy.
argument with Lauren, where he lost his temper and screamed at her, all in front of their 3 children. This was likely one of many arguments that took place in the home, because after this incident, Lauren would leave their home, stating, "I'll only return for the kids." Looking at the letter, it's clear that Paul felt immense guilt for screaming in front of his children, perhaps even more than most would.
It ain't no
And
guilt.
there's a very good reason for that.
Nigga's a
In his
manipulator.
journal, Paul would often write about growing up in an abusive household. In one entry, he described walking in on his father screaming and choking his mother, her face turning purple from the strangulation. Perhaps Paul felt he had followed in his father's footsteps by becoming aggressive towards Lauren in front of their children, something that likely embarrassed him. But instead of apologizing for his outburst, he chose a different path. He would begin manipulating his children.
What happened? Nah, I'm chilling.
Convincing them that he had done nothing wrong, even going as far as recording these statements to show Lauren later on.
How do you feel about what happened with Lauren?
I'm angry and sad, and I don't know.
I'm upset. I'm mad. I don't understand. It's overwhelming. the only damage that I feel that has been done by is honestly Lauren. I mean, everything was fine until she decided that she wanted to do what she did.
Was it my fault? Was I a bad husband to Lauren? No.
Who are these people?
Are
These
you
is
glad
kids?
It's just gonna be me, you, Joe, no. Why?
Because Mama moved away.
Yeah.
Lauren had moved out of the house, and Paul's attempts at manipulation only pushed her further away. In turn, his abandonment issues worsened, spiraling into paranoia over the thought of Lauren falling in love with someone else. There are numerous examples of Paul's paranoia, but certain examples are particularly notable. One thing Paul would consistently do over these years was send relentless barrages of text messages. They would usually start out in a calm, collected way.
I respected you, and so did the community. Now you are someone else. You aren't building love in the family anymore.
I can't crash out over no female like this, bro. These need to be crashing out,
But would
bro.
quickly spiral into unintelligible rants of
Midlife
self-hatred and
crisis.
aggressive accusations.
Now I am depressed again. How can you not care? How can you make me deal with this by myself? Why won't you save us? I'm sick again, and my counselor had to cancel. I am a pathetic piece of crap now. I am completely alone. My life is ruined. My money is gone. My body is broken. My wife doesn't care about me except to hurt me. You are abusive. You. I am crazy now. Great job.
Always ending with some type of accusatory comment, likely to make Lauren feel guilt over not being there for him. Another
left
thing
the
he
nigga
would
too.
regularly do was contact people in Lauren's life. One notable example would be towards Lauren's female co-worker, who Paul suspected to be bisexual.
I would appreciate it if you would stay away from my wife.
No, this nigga's crazy, bro. This nigga's crazy, bro. He hitting a female coworker. You know your wife's not bisexual, right? I don't know. This would crash out so they don't think. They just do.
Influence for her, and she is acting like a single woman. I don't not trust you as I reached out to you, and you ignored me. My wife needs family-oriented friends, not friends that married people and aren't friends enough to help in crisis.
Paul's messages to Lauren and her friends continued for months, growing increasingly emotional over time, but Lauren would rarely respond. Reading his diaries, it's clear this deeply upset Paul. He felt like he was losing the woman he loved. Desperate for a reaction, he soon turned to sending her videos instead, hoping that would finally grab her
Oh
attention.
yeah, he a creeper. Anybody take a picture like
You did.
bro said
I'm sorry about what I did.
he's a creeper.
Please come home. I don't want to restrict this by myself. And I love you.
Wasn't he just saying he was happier with just him and the kids? He's crazy.
Please. Just fucking please. Please. I work 2 jobs. I will do anything. I won't be here. I'll be working all the time.
This
Just come home. Please.
nigga do anything
Please
for
come
puss.
home. I'm sorry.
Nigga said I won't even live here.
Sorry.
You can live here.
I'm so
I
angry.
just come sleep.
I have a new perspective now.
Paul's emotional swings indicate a deep fear of abandonment, likely stemming from his childhood. With Lauren, he was angry and controlling. Without her, he was desperate and self-pitying. When
I'm
she
feeling bro
responded,
lost his
it would
eater, bro.
briefly ease his
Tell her.
distress, but unfortunately for Paul, Lauren would stop responding altogether. On November 14th, Paul's worst fears of abandonment would come true. He would discover clues that Lauren had started going out again. And later that same week, he signed up for VSync GPS tracking services and registered her phone to the system. Paul would start stalking her. He would take pictures of Lauren and the various bars she would go to and store them away to confront her with later.
Confront
But
her
on
with
November
what?
14th,
It's not like she's
things
cheating
took
on
a
you, bro.
dark
She left you,
turn
brother.
When While stalking
Confronting her
Paul
with it just gonna
discovered
put you in
Lauren
prison.
her car with a co-worker named Kevin making out. It seemed to confirm his deep fear of being abandoned as he stood there watching it all unfold. Kevin
Nigga was
would
cucking.
eventually leave the vehicle
He was
along
over there
Paul's direction
cucking.
and let Lauren know he saw everything that just happened. He'd pull out his phone to record, but would only capture a few seconds.
It was an accident. I'm sorry.
It was an accident.
Paul would go on to take Lauren's phone, texting Kevin an array of angry messages. However, eventually, Lauren would escape the situation. Approximately 22 hours after this had taken place, Paul would find Lauren with a different man, Brian. The two were simply
she get him?
co-workers, but
She
Paul
get
wasn't
him?
going to take any chances. So again, he would go up to the car, this time confronting the man instead of Lauren. This man had absolutely no intimate relationship with Lauren, so he retaliated against these claims, even punching Paul in the face.
I already pulled away from my last time. And here she is. There's nothing. It's another good-looking man.
Paul was furious. However, instead of begging Lauren to get back together, he would ask her to grab her final belongings from the house and never come back.
This nigga don't know what he
was
want.
a sharp distinction from the previous
Bro don't know
weeks
what he want.
and even months. It seemed like Paul's
Yeah, I'll take it.
ongoing desperation.
Tell me why yesterday, right? I'm about to leave work. I'm sitting there waiting. I called the Uber. I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, I got my grandma's car. I had to cancel the Uber. I haven't smoked in 2 days.
Good, because you ain't got no car to go outside. Good.
It's been 2 days.
Good. Good. You ain't got no car to go outside smoking.
Nope. No.
Yeah, you don't need no gas in the car.
You said does it?
No.
Alright.
No, I don't need no, I don't think.
Alright. I'll put some in there if it do.
I don't think.
Alright.
For Lauren,
Yeah.
had bizarrely turned into hatred. Lauren would oblige and go on to take her items from the house, but Paul wouldn't stop there. The next morning, he would take to Facebook, making a public post stating,
Has anyone in Bozeman not kissed my wife? Last night I caught Lauren making out with this.
You ain't sleep. You gotta go to work.
Yeah, in 2 hours. Nah. I ain't do nothing this morning, so I ain't got no reason to go to sleep. Has anyone in Bozeman not kissed my wife? It's crazy, bro. It's going through it.
Man in her car outside of a bar. She is the best liar I have ever known.
Paul
She is
would
the best
turn
liar
to
ever known.
retaliation.
That's a bar.
His
I
video
might tweet that.
recordings made that clear.
Yes, I've been drinking. I'm having beer. But I'm not wasted. I'm very upset. I put up with this shit for years. I didn't realize it because I was blind. And that's what this is about. And I'm angry. And my children are angry. And my baby's angry. And it's hard for me to live with. It's very difficult.
The words
And
of
so
a
I'm not
man
shutting
before
you
he do
down.
something he gonna
But
regret.
in Bozeman, there's all these young 30-somethings with tons of money that Lauren's chasing. She loves that. And she's going to step up from me and our family and get ahead. I'm angry. I don't want her to keep her job. I would like to protect the community from her. I'm sure I will be an outcast now because, you know, who tells the truth anymore, right?
Paul continued to bombard Lauren with texts, stalk her, and most of all, fuel his
Excuse
chronic
me.
alcoholism, which only worsened his anger issues. At one point, even telling Lauren's friend at a local bar, quote, "I've killed people before, and I'm not afraid to do it again." The final straw in Paul's downward spiral came in an incident completely unrelated to Lauren. While out walking with his daughter, Paul would begin threatening a homeowner whose dogs were barking at him from behind a fence. When the man confronted him, an enraged Paul pulled out a pocket knife and stabbed him in the hip. And Paul would record the entire event.
You don't record yourself stabbing somebody?
People's dogs. This is my baby. Baby, did you think that dog was gonna get you? I did too. And then this man attacked me behind the dog after this woman. Baby, I'm sorry. I withdrew my knife to defend myself against this man who took me down with a single leg takedown.
With a single leg takedown, this nigga watch UFC.
I struck up with the knife. I struck the man. They pulled the dog away. Now the dog's gone. You okay, baby? I'm so sorry.
You stood here and antagonized.
And see, still the aggression.
You stood here
with my baby.
Antagonizing the dogs. Look at what you're doing to
I'm blocking my baby from this woman.
Look what you're doing to
This is the aggression these people have. They threatened us when we tried to walk by. Let's get out of here.
Are you some kind of doper?
Are you some kind of doper?
Wow. You guys
Are you some kind of doper?
I'm so glad you've been uncovered for what you are.
You better chill the fuck out.
That's right, I should.
You kicked me and I put you on the ground.
That's right.
So that you can figure out what's going
It's okay,
on.
baby. That's right.
I'm like, why he holding his arm like that? But he got stabbed, I forgot. Nigga walking away, why you telling him to... Oh, that's the boys.
It's okay, baby.
Oh, that's the boys. I thought that was one of the niggas from the yard. I'm like, who the fuck they think they is?
Luckily for Paul, the homeowner had technically put his hands on him first, so the stabbing was considered self-defense. And while he would walk away with no charges, this event would signify that Paul was not afraid of violence, and in fact seemed to endorse it. On January 6th, 2018, at 11:56 a.m., Paul would text Lauren, inviting her over for some soup. Lauren would never reply. At 3:36 p.m., Paul would text Lauren, asking if they were still meeting for tomorrow. Lauren would reply, "What for? I'd like to pick up my daughter and spend time with her." This seemed to upset Paul, so he would go on his, by this point, usual rant to Lauren, sending messages such as, "I beg you, please don't destroy us, I love you, and we'll do whatever it takes." Hours later, at 10:58
really be
p.m.,
cooks.
Lauren would reply, "No thank you."
Oh, yeah. Nah, that would have sent me off the deep end too, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. But you can't just say she kissed everybody in the city and then beg for her back, bro. That's crazy. But nigga said no, thank you. Yeah, I would have crashed out too.
A 2-hour gap would proceed with no text messages between the two. However, Paul was completing other tasks during this time.
Nigga seen that no thank you and started
First,
plotting.
Paul can be seen on CCTV at the Town Pump gas station at 12:34 a.m. Additionally, Paul would take a photo from his phone minutes after. While blurry, this photo shows Lauren's current home in the distance, as well as a GPS tracking device inside the vehicle. Following this photo, Paul would send a final text message saying, "I know I'm not supposed to text you now, but I can't sleep. Please, please, please come home. I miss you and love you so much. Please, I love you. We all do. Please just come home. Please."
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Idaho Street, Belgrade. The next door neighbor, she just came over in hysterics and says somebody shot her roommate.
Did this just happen?
Yeah, she said it just happened. She needs ambulance and police.
Okay, where is the person that shot the neighbor?
Who shot? Who shot? The guy's name was Paul DeWise.
So Paul DeWise is the one that shot the person?
That's what she said, yes. She said her roommate Ashley is the one that's still alive.
Do we know where Paul is now?
She doesn't know if he's still in the house. That's why she ran.
Okay. All right. Is Ashley bleeding seriously?
Was she bleeding seriously? Yes. She said yes.
Okay.
Lauren and her roommate, Ashley, were shot on the morning of January 6th. Their neighbors would hear the gunshot and rush to the home, finding what
the
they
frick
saw
gotta do with
as
it?
a deceased Lauren and a severely wounded Ashley.
Poor Ashley,
Additionally,
bro.
the neighbors would name Paul DeWise as the shooter. Officers would waste no time and rush to the scene immediately.
Where are we at? What's going on?
I stayed with friends last night, and I just came in and I saw that my back door had been broken in, so I went to the back and I could see footsteps in the snow, so I ran up to my room to see if my roommate was okay. I have two roommates.
Okay.
One of them's dead, and the other one is in her room, and she's still alive, and she needs help, but I ran because I didn't know if he was still in the house.
Okay, so you don't know if there's somebody else in the house?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Lauren looks like she's been in a while, but Ashley's asked me for help, and I ran.
Okay. Is this door open?
Nigga said she asked me for help and I ran. She
Is that what you're telling me? Okay. But we don't know
to
if
help
there's
me,
anybody else in the
nigga took off. Well, yeah, survival of the fittest.
Okay. One apparent dead, one still alive. She said I ran out as soon as I saw that. I have no idea if there's still anybody else in there or not.
Okay.
So this is open.
Okay.
See any footprints in the snow leading up here?
Okay.
You ready?
Yep. Belgrade Police!
Police Department!
Anybody inside, come out!
Oh yeah, they got the shotty. They trying to put a hole through somebody's body.
Police! Where are you at?
Kitchen clear.
How many people are inside? We're making entry. How many people? Okay.
We're coming.
Belgrade Police, show me your hands. We got doors on the left and right.
Police!
Please don't shoot me!
Who shot you?
No, please don't shoot me!
I'm not gonna shoot you.
Please don't shoot me!
One female down, is deceased. I'm behind you.
Okay, we need medical in here now.
Please don't shoot me!
And we're not gonna shoot you, ma'am.
My name's Ashley!
Ashley, what's going on? Who shot you?
Nobody!
Oh, what happened?
I don't know! Please come here!
Who did?
What?
Are you the police?
I'm the police, right here.
Where are you?
I'm right here. Can you see me?
Where are you?
I'm right here.
Where?
Nah, she's tweaking.
Was temporarily blind,
Oh,
with
she
a
was
bullet wound to the
blind.
back of her head and several others across her body. She had no idea where she was and wasn't even aware she had been shot.
Are you the police?
I'm the police, yes.
Nah, death penalty.
I'm right here. Can you see me?
No.
Can you see
Death
anything?
penalty.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm right here. Can you
He
hear me?
deserved the death
I'm right
penalty.
here. Can you feel my hand?
Damn.
Shoot me!
What?
Please don't shoot me!
I'm not gonna shoot you. Where do you hurt?
I don't hurt anywhere!
You don't hurt anywhere?
No! Are you going to hurt me?
No, I don't want to hurt you.
Man, that's sick, bro. She going through it right now. I feel bad for her, bro.
Ashley was not in a communicative state at this point, making this about as difficult a situation as you can get as a police officer. Regardless, this officer would do a heroic job of remaining calm as he continued to talk to Ashley and ensure she stayed awake. Fortunately, medical staff arrived quickly and Ashley would be rushed to the hospital. Whether or not she would survive remained to be seen, but the officer can rest assured knowing that he did everything possible to keep her alive. The other victim, Lauren, would be pronounced dead on the scene.
How many
While
bullets he
this
put
is
into her, bro?
devastating, another problem still had to be solved, and solved fast, as the shooter had not yet been located.
Got the garage cleared? Yep, he cleared the garage. We got tracks everywhere. Can you move that bed frame or the mattress? Clear. Got a man door. Can we go out that? Yeah. Clear. We're clear? Is there tracks going over the top of the fence or anything? No. Negative. How about
Y'all think cops enjoy doing shit like this? Like going to like a crime scene and like scoping it out on edge, ready to blow somebody's head off? Like, do you think they find this shit fun? Maybe, possibly. It be seeming like they be having fun, but I don't know. I don't think they should again.
that way? Okay, is our gate open?
The house was clear.
I be feeling like they
meaning
want to
whoever
find
killed
somebody. So,
Lauren had
boom,
fled
nigga, you know.
And while he may have gotten away, several clues would be left behind. The most obvious being a trail of bloody footprints leading from the east side of the house over to the back door. At the time, this was a small, irrelevant detail. However, this would become one of the leading pieces of evidence to solve the case later on. By nothing short of a miracle, Ashley would survive the brutal attack. She would undergo multiple emergency surgeries, fracture treatments, and blood transfusions.
Be real.
This
I'm rooting
was
for
a
you, Ashley,
blessing
man.
for not only Ashley and her family, but for the detectives working on the case. Because if Ashley could recall what had happened and who shot her, solving this case would become a whole lot easier. But before we dive deeper into the case, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Shipper, as with all which today surgeries. Get back to the video. So, after Ashley had briefly recovered from her surgeries, detectives would sit down for a formal interview. The goal of the interview was to help her recall crucial details about the incident by asking specific, targeted questions, in hopes of triggering memories that might have been buried due to the trauma.
So obviously, you know, we're here to talk to you.
Yes, I do.
And I know this is kind of a tough question, but can you tell me, do you remember anything at all?
When I got shot?
Mm-hmm.
No. No, I do not remember being shot at all.
Well, yeah, you're a lucky gal, but everything that I've heard, you know, you're a fighter.
It's a miracle I'm alive. I thank God every day.
It's really a miracle.
It is.
The detective would continue asking questions for another 30 minutes, but unfortunately, Ashley was unable to answer anything whatsoever. Again, officers were left confused as to who this killer was and why this happened in the first place. Due to the lack of physical evidence, detectives decided to talk to more witnesses in order to determine a primary suspect. Audria, the neighbor who called for help, had reported Paul as the potential killer during the 911 call. So with this in mind, officers decided it was imperative to speak with Audria to better understand why she would make these claims. And she would waste no time letting officers in on Lauren's abusive relationship with Paul.
We went golfing once this summer.
Okay.
Well, she actually had worked out at my gym. I'm a personal trainer at Big Sky Barbell, and she had come in one day and I saw a bruise on her, and I remember saying, "Dude, what happened to your leg?" And she said, I just ran into something. And I said, 100-mile-an-hour softball? What happened to your leg? She just dismissed it. A couple months later, we were golfing, and she said, they had lived here about a year, and she said, I can't believe I've never told anybody this, but I think I need to leave Paul. He beats me all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to contact me every day. And one day would be, you ruined my life, to, I can't believe you're helping my wife, to, I'm so sorry, this is all my fault. This has nothing to do with you. You did nothing wrong. I mean, he's got a schizophrenic chain of messages that I never responded to. Anyway, yesterday, it's actually
While people
been
just keep texting somebody that's not replying.
Heard their daughters. They have a 3-year-old daughter. She turned 4 on Thursday.
Audria was well aware Paul was an abusive and psychotic husband prior to Lauren's death. Based on Audria's claims, her suspicion of Paul's involvement would only grow stronger.
I left last night around 9. She had just gotten out of the bath, and she had actually said something to me like, I'm just so happy here. I feel safer than I felt in years. And I remember leaving. I left around 9:30. And I got home this morning. I got home early. And when I walked in, I looked down, and in my back door frame, 2 pieces of wood were laying on the floor. And I ran upstairs to see if Lauren was okay. She was not okay. I literally, the door had been propped open, and she always slept with it. And it was open. I walked up, and I could see her laying there, so I didn't walk it all the way into her room. I just looked at her and was like,
Traumatized.
it looked to me like Lauren was dead when I was there, but I didn't even. My brain went to gunshots because he has like a bicyclist pulled him over, cut him off, and got close to him in traffic once. He pulled a pistol on bicycles. He pulled a pistol on Lauren. Or he got banned from Airbnb. He pulled up his Airbnb guest.
Oh, this nigga just quick draw.
Based
Quick
on
draw
Ashley's
my
claims, Paul
That
was
nigga-
not only an abuser,
That
but
nigga
also
don't be playing
notoriously
around.
threatened people with the same weapon used to kill Lauren. It was becoming more and more clear that Paul was who detectives ultimately needed to speak with. Safely getting Paul to the police station for questioning was something that needed to be done with extreme precaution. Whoever killed Lauren was armed with a .22 caliber pistol, and if Paul was responsible, a dangerous scenario could occur if police contacted him directly. So, in order to safely secure him, officers devised a complex plan for his arrest. Paul's house would be heavily surveyed the day of the arrest. The moment Paul left his house, the surveillance team would notify the arrest team of his direction of travel. In order to leave his neighborhood, Paul would have to exit either to the west on South 19th Avenue or east on South 3rd Avenue. Units would be blocking both streets, and a high-risk felony stop would be used to take DeWise into custody. With this plan, officers were granted an arrest
They didn't want to
warrant
just
for
knock
Paul,
on his
and
door.
immediately the operation would go underway.
Never mind.
At 9 a.m. the next day, Paul would exit his house in his Chevrolet Suburban. He'd turn west onto South 19th Avenue, where an officer would be waiting for him, and quickly pull the vehicle over.
Okay, open up the door. Keep both hands up. Outside. Okay, go ahead and get out. Listen, hey, get out. Put your hands up.
Hands up. Walk over here. Turn around. Look away from me. Walk backwards. Keep coming. Keep coming. Stop. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Do not move. Do you understand me? Take him to the back of my car. All right.
The plan had worked perfectly, and Paul was quickly brought to the Bozeman police station for his first formal interrogation. At this point, Paul knows exactly why he's here. His wife had been found murdered. He also knows that, logically, an innocent man wouldn't have that kind of information in the first place. What makes this interrogation particularly interesting is that, despite knowing this, Paul subconsciously steers the conversation towards his wife.
Hi, Paul. Yep. My name's Justin. I'm with the Belgrade Police Department.
Okay.
So you had your...
Remember, at this point, there has been no mention of Lauren whatsoever.
What do you do for work?
I've been stay-at-home dad for quite a while.
Man,
Stay-at-home
hardest job there is.
Bro.
A couple of accidents.
Stay at home dad. Oh, a couple of accidents. Never mind. He getting paid. I'm like, how you supporting kids and you don't work?
And we ended up switching roles and ended up staying home.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going through transition right now, though, so.
Is that right?
Yeah. So.
What kind of transition?
We're separated.
Oh.
Yeah. And in fact, she was supposed to get a baby today.
Oh.
So it's been tough. I hurt my knee back in June, and we had a lot of problems since then. And I had surgery in August, and it caused a lot of problems.
The detectives still haven't mentioned Lauren.
I've had a bunch of injuries in the last few years, and she's pissed off at me about that.
Was it work related?
No.
What did you do before you stayed at home?
Well, I was a school teacher for 15 years. I taught science before I moved to Montana.
Here?
No, in Pensacola, Florida.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I have a biology degree. Yeah, that's how my wife and I met.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we both taught next door to each other.
Well, she got a thing for coworkers.
Coffee.
Once again, Paul brings up his wife unprompted. While this is interesting, it's not enough to serve as evidence, so the detectives decide it's time to apply more pressure.
So, the reason that I wanted to talk to you is there was some issues that happened over at Lauren's house this morning, and I just kind of wanted to touch base with you to see if you were over there at all, if kind of where you were this morning, that kind of thing.
What happened?
Well, someone broke into the back door of her place. And so, from what I understand, you guys were separated and working on a divorce.
Okay?
And that's kind of where we're at.
Is she alright?
Well, not really. She isn't. Well, the
Niggas be thinking they actors,
person
bro.
that came in
Niggas
ended
talking about what
up
happened.
shooting her.
Like you ain't Boomer, bro. Nigga really sitting there acting like he ain't Boomer, bro. She's dead. You seen her dead.
So,
Yo, these niggas be trying to be actors for real.
So that's why we're talking to you, because you guys are going through a divorce, and from what I understand, and that's, we need to kind of figure out what's going on.
This is news to me. I don't know anything about it.
Well, let me just say right off the bat, regardless of your relational issues, I understand.
I love her.
He don't seem like somebody that love her.
And I'm so sorry that you're going through this right now. This place. If, let's say, for...
You think I did it? I didn't do it.
We gotta look at the big picture.
Say you did
I
it.
would never do anything.
I'm asking you to give us any information that you can about anything, whether it was you or not.
It's hard to tell whether Paul is genuinely anxious over his wife's
Nigga
passing or if
panicking.
he's simply putting on a convincing act.
He's
Panicking,
acting, bro.
Not over
He
grief,
already
but over
knew.
the realization that the detectives are closing in on him.
As soon as he got pulled
Paul
over, he knew
quickly
he was
regained
booked.
his composure and instead redirects the conversation towards Lauren, quickly painting himself as a victim of her actions.
Hands are tingling. You know, I've been having panic problems. I never had it before. Never. I didn't know what a real panic attack was like.
Just since you got here?
No, since we started going through this crap. You know, it started in like July. She's going through like a midlife crisis, and you know, she's staying gone. She's come home late and drunk. I caught her cheating.
Yeah.
2 days in a row with two different people in the car. You know, and
He mad
and the
because he
second
put.
time I asked her to leave.
While Paul may think that painting her in
I be thinking niggas crash out like this over females because niggas like him, he know he's cooked. Like he's not getting another Lauren. If Lauren leaves him, he's done. He's not getting another Lauren, and he knows that. That's why they be crashing out. Listen, bro, there's always somebody out there for you, bro. Don't crash out over these females, bro. It's not worth it. It's not worth it in the slightest.
a bad light is a smart move, in reality, it only establishes that he had a strong motive for revenge. At this point, the detectives decide it's time to start constructing a timeline, hoping to pin Paul to a version of events they can systematically dismantle.
So, is there anything you can think of? Anything that would help us at all?
I can't think right now.
Let's just start with a basic timeline. So start with, let's say, what you do during a normal day. Yesterday was Saturday, right?
Right.
So when you woke up, were your other kids already awake?
No.
Were they all three still asleep? Or you said Jennifer?
Jennifer woke me up.
Okay, but the teenagers were in bed?
Mm-hmm.
That's what teenagers do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it. Nothing exciting. I mean, I was just in my chair all day.
Okay, so you didn't,
I think I'm
go to Walmart or go out to eat or anything like that? No trips outside?
I didn't go anywhere.
The detective asks this question because they have CCTV footage placing Paul at a gas station at 12:34 a.m. By outright denying that he left his home, it's clear that Paul is lying. However, when detectives ask the question minutes later, Paul realizes they might be setting up a trap and changes his story.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you didn't leave your house pretty much at all yesterday? Not last night? Certainly not after dinner? What time do you think you went to bed?
Gosh, it was late. Actually, it did go out. I went and got a 6-pack of beer around midnight at Town Pump.
Oh, now he went out.
Going back to the timeline last night, you went to the Town Pump to get a 6-pack beer. And both of your oldest were still up
Mm-hmm.
And
actually, my son went with me.
oh, your son went with you. Okay. And you guys were gone from your house. That's what, gotta be 15, 20 minutes, maybe.
I was like, if you get the light, maybe it's 5 tops.
Oh.
The fact that Paul's son, Joseph, was with him on that trip is actually a crucial detail. Detectives now have another potential key witness who can prove or disprove Paul's movements that day. However, while this interview establishes that Paul has both a motive and a timeline that aligns with Lauren's murder, it's not enough evidence for detectives to make an arrest. For now, they have no choice but to let Paul go. While this is unfortunate and potentially dangerous, they were able to obtain one of Paul's belongings, his iPhone. Quickly, officers discovered that Paul was in fact at Lauren's house the day of the murder by locating a photo Paul took in front of her house just hours before her death. By combining Paul's claim that he was with his son that night with phone data placing him at Lauren's house, a crucial question can be made. Did Paul's son, Joseph, also go into Lauren's house the night she was murdered? If what Paul said during the interrogation is true, then Joseph should have been with Paul the entire night, which would include going to Lauren's house. This is a question that detectives needed to solve, and solve fast.
No way he
as
threw
both
his
the
son under
potential
the bus.
suspects are roaming free and could cause further damage if the case were to come to a standstill. So, a few hours later, Paul's son, Joseph, would be brought to the interrogation room. The plan for this interrogation was very straightforward. Simply get a timeline for where Joseph was the day of his stepmom's death and see if Joseph will admit to him, or at least his father, going to Lauren's house that night.
Let's chat, man. Well, just all kinds of chitter chatter out there. My name's Jeremy Kopp. I'm the detective sergeant for the sheriff's office.
Nigga's a cop,
Okay.
last name Cop. He was cut out for this.
You know what happened to Dad. Given that, then I need to be able to sit down and be able to talk to you. Right. And let's go to Saturday. And just walk me through Saturday.
So Saturday, I got up around like maybe 12-ish, around 12.
Is that kind of a typical on the weekends or no?
Usually get up around like 10 maybe.
Okay.
And then my daddy's not feeling the best, so we usually would work on Saturday with Alden.
Mm-hmm.
We were modeling a trailer, but we were kind of sick. I didn't really feel like working here because I was kind of run down. So we just hung out all day. And we were up later than we should have been. And then we stayed up for a while. And then 12 came around. And then me and my dad went on a beer run. I went with him to the town pump.
Okay.
By Albertsons.
Okay.
And so he got a 6-pack of Voodoo Ranger.
Of what kind?
IPA, Voodoo Ranger.
Voodoo Ranger. Okay.
Joseph's timeline is almost identical to that of both his father and sister, who was also interviewed. This is troubling because the detective knows the story is a lie. At some point during that time frame, Paul went to Lauren's house. That means someone isn't telling the truth. The detective would notice this and pivot, starting to ask some more direct questions to Joseph.
Did you go?
I just go with him, just because.
Yeah. Do you hang with your dad quite a bit?
Yeah.
Okay, you and your dad pretty tight?
Yeah. So we just...
Fair enough to say.
Whatever we do, you know.
Okay.
And then we came back to the house. And then Natalie was up till around 11. I mean 1.
Okay.
Baby went to sleep around like 7:38.
So you don't recall hearing doors or anything open when you go to bed?
Right.
Nobody contacts you or anything? Okay.
Despite the detective's tries, Joseph doesn't seem to budge on his story. Additionally,
Real nigga, Joseph real,
could
bro.
have been implicated in Lauren's murder at this
Joseph
point
a real
is
nigga.
fairly
He know
long
more than
winded,
we saying,
so the
but he ain't
detective
about to.
decides it's best to
He ain't about to
not
out his
confront
box.
Joseph
I
any
feel him.
further until more factual
I feel
evidence
him.
can prove he's lying. Luckily, that evidence wouldn't take long to present itself. Remember the bloody footprints found in the snow in Lauren's backyard? Well, a few days after the initial interviews, detectives began analyzing the footprints to try and determine who they could be from. Immediately, detectives noticed there were 2 shoe prints in the snow, one noticeably larger than the other, meaning 2 people were implicated in Lauren's murder, one with bigger feet and one with smaller. When the prints were further analyzed, they were confirmed to be from 2 different shoe models, the Walmart Interceptor boots and the Merrill Reflex. And if we take a look at photos of Joseph taken from Paul's phone, we can see that Joseph would commonly wear the Walmart Interceptor boots. Additionally, if we look at the CCTV from the Town Pump gas station, we can see that Paul was wearing the Merrill Reflex. Paul had undoubtedly killed Lauren, and Joseph had come along with him. Detectives realized that Joseph was the key to all of this. He had been there with his father when Lauren was killed, and now they were certain of it. In his last interview, Joseph had stuck to the same timeline as his father, a
What's good, yo?
timeline that investigators could now prove was a complete lie. With this leverage, detectives believed that with the right amount of pressure, they could break Joseph and force him to confess everything.
His name Joseph DeWide Jr. His dad's name is Paul. See a fucking
Due
junior.
to the intense nature of what detectives are about
His
to
dad's
do,
name is Paul.
they would bring in Joseph's biological mother, Paul's ex-wife, to provide comfort, hoping that her presence would further push him to finally tell the truth.
Nah, I've been seeing clips of Could Have Been Love, but I ain't see the whole shit yet.
So, Joe, yesterday you and I kind of talked about what everybody had done on Saturday.
Well, I got a phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Probably after work. I'm about going to work.
And Dad and Baby and Natalie were already up. And we were sitting in the living room. Daddy was in his chair. I was on the couch. Baby, she's just whatever she was.
As the interview progressed, Joseph's timeline remained largely consistent with what he had stated the day before. The detective knew he wasn't getting the full truth, and that meant it was time to apply more pressure.
That's pretty accurate to what you told me yesterday. And I was hoping that today you and I could break through that and we could talk about what actually happened. Because if I can't get you to be honest with me, I can't help you. But I'm not willing.
Niggas always say I can't help you. They ain't want to help you anyway.
I think that we can get
This nigga could tell them the whole truth right now, and he's still gonna get charged for tampering with evidence or some shit. Watch.
through it. I can see the weight on you. And the only way I can help is if you and I are honest with each other. Joe, I can't help. I can't do anything if you and I aren't honest with each other in here. Okay? Joe, please. Joe. Okay.
It seems to be working. Slowly, Joseph's defenses are starting to crumble. At this point, all the detective can do is sit with him as the reality of the situation closes in.
Your dad took you.
No, he didn't.
He wasn't alone.
Then who was it? I don't know.
Nigga whispering like he trying to keep a secret.
I had my boots are in my own house.
Joe, we've got to be honest with each other.
Completely honest.
How did your boots that are at your residence, those same prints end up at the crime scene? Joe, be thoughtful. be truthful. I can't do anything if you and I can't be truthful. Was it just your dad?
Say something.
Joe.
Come on, son.
Joe.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Joe.
I know you love your daddy, son.
Joe. Joe, just. Come on. Come on.
Son, if you know something, just say it.
Joe. When did he leave? Did he leave you? Did he make you go? Is that why? Did you go to? Was it was after before the beer? I meant to the beer. Joe, help me understand. Help me understand that it was just him.
Yeah, that's the pulls of somebody
understand
that's about to
Help me
cooperate.
understand why.
Nigga holding his hand tight,
Help me.
hand on his elbow.
Help me understand it.
Nigga about to
How far
cooperate.
west did you go? Did you just wait outside?
No, I stayed in my house.
Joe, why would he frame his own son? Why would he frame his own son? Joe, your boots are there. Help me. Help me. Help me tell the story. Was it you or him? Tell me.
It was him.
It was him? How do you know? He was what?
He usually doesn't tend to do that.
He usually
did
did.
that time. I thought he was very
So he sent you to bed.
He said I love you, son. He doesn't usually just
He said he loves you, son.
I didn't know he was gonna do this to me. My sisters. I didn't know.
Oh, so he wasn't there. Bro was really trying to frame him. His
The
dad.
pressure had broken Joseph after relentless questioning.
Wait, so
had
was he there or
finally
was he
come
not
clean
there?
About what transpired mere days earlier. Months later, when the detective recounted this moment with Joseph, he would burst into tears, overcome by the weight of the situation.
I just love you right now. Okay? So it's your son and love him.
Sorry. My fault for letting you go. You couldn't be with me.
The detectives had what they wanted, and there was nothing left to do but finally wrap this case up.
Was he there or not, bro?
Paul's trial would be a long and drawn-out process, stretching over 2 years after his arrest. During this time, he remained in the Gallatin County Detention Center, where he quickly became a problem inmate. On February 7th, roughly 1 month after his arrest, tensions escalated when Paul called out another inmate, Buckley, accusing him of being a liar. Buckley responded with a warning, "Don't disrespect me like that." But before he could say more, Paul threw a punch, hitting Buckley in the face and sparking a full-blown fist fight. Paul would be charged with assault following the fight, only adding to the array of charges against him.
Nah, Paul might
would
be
eventually
gangster,
meet
bro.
his fate on February 4th, 2020, nearly 2 years after his arrest. He'd be convicted of deliberate homicide, attempted deliberate homicide, and tampering with evidence, and would be sentenced to 220 years in prison without the possibility of parole.
To the charge of attempt to commit deliberate homicide of Ashley Beamer. Guilty.
Cooked. Fucking don't crash out about these women, bro. Do not do it. It's not worth it, bro. There's more fish in the sea. More fish in the sea.